Hey everybody. Every once in a while when I'm doing these flea market finds videos, I do something more like an odds and sods video, I call it, because it's pretty fast and furious. I'm probably having stuff come in like every week during the the spring and summer months and even in the fall. So some of the stuff kind of falls through the cracks. Some of you guys still are interested to see what I end up finding out there in the estate sales and picks and flea markets and that. So we'll blast through the stuff in this box and a couple other boxes I have here. And these are going to be basically items that I may or may not end up remembering where the heck I got them and what I paid for them. But we'll just kind of blast through them and get them out of the way so I can inventory them and start selling them. So this is a little itty bitty anvil. It had a tag on it for 12 bucks, so I probably end up paying like 10 bucks for it. It's marked Japan, so I have no idea who the maker is. Don't really care, but it's just kind of a neat sized little anvil. Punches, whenever I can buy Starrett, or even general, if they're in good condition, punches, especially these long ones like this. If I can buy these right, I will tend to buy them, whether they're singles or multiples. And I will, especially like with these short ones like this, I'll buy these, and then over time, sometimes I'll find holders that are missing some, and I can make complete sets out of them. Grinding disc, no harm in that. Usually only end up paying $1 or $2 for these. This I'm pretty sure I got off a guy that I buy a lot of Greenfield stuff from, I think. I honestly don't remember. No, actually, maybe not, because he never really prices his stuff. This had 10 bucks on it. I think I paid the 10 for it because I just thought it was neat. It's marked Browning, but I'm not convinced that it's, anything to do with the gun manufacturer. But it's thread pitch gauges, clearly. They're marked 20 degree, 14.5, 20 degree. Oh, that's interesting. What do we got here? 20 foot. Oh, no, these are probably for gears. Yeah, these are for gear teeth, because it's marked 24 DP, which would be 24 diametric pitch. 14.5 degrees on this side, 20 degrees on this side. So that's might be a handy set for me to hold on to. Some sort of a. Oh, so this is kind of neat. This is a little it's a little scriber set. It's marked Made in the USA Commando. It's got a shirt pocket clip there, and then it's got storage for 3 scriber tips in the handle, and then it's just got almost like a pin vise style on the end there. So I thought that was kind of neat. A random gauge block, but it's a Ford 3-inch. I might actually have one of these sets, so I'll have to see if the 3-inch is in there. This little thing here, when I first spotted it, I actually thought it was a mouthpiece. And then I realized, oh no, what this is a precision oiler. Probably part of a gun kit, maybe, I don't know. But you unscrew this top and it exposes the little tiny tip there. And then you oil up the Tin Man. And it's marked Made in the USA, but other than that, I don't see any markings on it. So I just thought it was kind of a neat little thing. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that. Let's dump this and see what we got. I think this stuff here might have come from the guy that I buy. I've bought a lot of Greenfield tap and die vintage stuff from. This is a little placard. It says the Granite State Gas and Steam Association exhibitor, 1979. So this is probably on a hit or miss engine. Somebody had $5 on it. I'm sure I didn't pay that for it. I don't know why all these fuses are in here. These fuses are expensive to buy. These are commonly used in motor circuits, especially on hot tubs and spas. And these go for about $8 a piece. Oh, this is neat. This is, I don't know if this is a parallel or is it a gauge block. But the neat thing about this is that it's marked Taft Pierce. Taft Pierce was a fine manufacturer of precision vices, jigs, V-blocks, things like that. They still sell the Taft Pierce name, but they're now being manufactured by Suburban Tool and offered as a higher line in the Suburban Tool lineup. So you can buy like a sign plate, for instance. You can buy it in the Suburban Tool catalog, and you can buy it for one price. And then if you want, you could buy the same exact sign plate in their catalog, badged Taft Pierce, for more money. And then if you look at the specifications, you'll see that the specifications are tighter on the Taft Pierce one. So, you know, if the squareness is within so much, it'll be higher on the Taft Pierce than on the Suburban version. That's what you're paying that extra money for. This is a 4-inch gauge block. This is a Johansson Ford. So this would have been part of a set that was sold by Henry Ford when he was so impressed with Johansson's quality of gauge blocks. He got a licensing agreement and was selling the Johansson gauge block sets here in the U.S. With the Ford name on them. That's a shelf clip. That's a who knows what. All right, I'm just looking here to see if there's anything. Bunch of random gauge blocks. I don't know what that is. Little handle. Little V block. This is cool. This is a little solid brass vise, little sucker. I'm saying anvil. Little anvil. It's got an H on it, and that, I believe, was the only marking I could find on it. It's stamped H on both sides. So I will probably never know who made it. I think I paid about 10 or 15 bucks for it. This I remember I got at the flea market. Actually, I think I might have only got this for like 5 or 10 bucks. All right, let's throw this stuff off to the side and see what else we've got. So, you know, all these gauge blocks here, I grab them because I might have some sets that have some damaged or missing gauge blocks. I might be able to fill in some spaces with some of these. Although these, you know, obviously this is no way to treat a gauge block. But, you know, I probably got these thrown in with some other stuff I bought. And a lot of these are Fords. There's another one, CEJ, so that's Johansson. J is for Johansson. I think his first name was Carl or something like that. And Ford. And it's got the little scripted Ford name on it there. I also picked this up probably just for a couple of bucks. And it's the package says Sterling, which there are some Sterling ones in here. Bimetal Diamond Saw Works of Chaffee, New York. I don't know if they're still in business, but then there's also some Lennox ones mixed in here too. But these are all new old stock hacksaw blades. Can always use those. You know, you go to the hardware store or Home Depot to buy these today, and it's amazing how expensive some things are getting, or have gotten, or whatever. All right, let's blow through the contents of this box quickly. Let's see. We got a bag full of what appears to be just random end mills and some taps and stuff like that. This is a bag of... Oh, these are Allen drivers, but these are the kind that have the removable shank. So you could buy this as a handle with a whole bunch of them. For some reason, this guy just had a bunch of these, and these are, I believe, Exolite brand, which is it's a decent brand name. So there's like an extra one there. Let's see what else is in this bag. There's a tiny little clamp, probably good for electronic work. Oh, here's a nice pair of, well, got a little bit of rust on them and a little bit of damage on the edge. So, you know, but these are Starrett 54 hold downs. These are for holding down really small pieces on a magnetic chuck. And this is a flexible arm for an indicator. Starrett made one of these. I don't know if Brown and Sharp did or not. This has got a Starrett look to it. This looks like maybe a box for a 198 indicator that has nothing in it, and there's no name on the box, no part number on the box, but it's clearly a Starrett box. But what was in here was this neat little doohickey right here. This has got a little spring-loaded deal here. The way this works is this allows this to clamp onto the arm of your eyeglasses, and then this flips up out of the way when you're not using it, and then when you want to look at something really close, you just flip this down. So I just had to tighten the screw, and it seems to be working fine. So basically it stays up out of your way when you're not needing really close-up work, and then you just kind of flip it down like this, and now it's pretty powerful magnification for really up-close work. Kind of neat. Let's see, this looks like it's going to be a last word. Oh, you ever get tired of being wrong? Oh, this is Starrett number 216. So this is a mechanical digital micrometer. So these are kind of neat. I had one of these a while back that was had a problem where it would zero, but the more you opened it up, the further out of calibration it would get. And the reason was because the gear inside here had cracked, and it caused it to skip a tooth every revolution of the barrel. It would skip one tooth. Oh, here's one of these Brown and Sharp direct reading micrometers, which again, kind of cool idea for back in the day. Unfortunately, all of these that I've owned seem to have suffered the same fate, which is this plastic piece right here cracks. You can see it's got several cracks in it. Eventually that will crack all the way through, and this plastic piece will no longer give the clamping effect that it is needed for it to operate. I did do a video a while back where I repaired one of these by making a brass sleeve, a tapered brass sleeve, and pressed it and glued it over this. And it actually worked, but, it's just kind of a novelty at this point. It's too bad, because I thought these were kind of neat. This has got to be Starrett hole gauges by the looks of it. Yep. Seen these plenty of times, right? Starrett radius gauge set. Again, seen these plenty of times. Oh, I'm glad to see this. I actually already sold this and had misplaced it. This is a General Tool, I forget what the heck this is called, but it's like a, Ultra Rule. It says it right there, Ultra Rule. So this is a funky, multi-use compass / deal. These little slots here are so you can take your mechanical pencil lead, I think, and fit them in there, and I don't know, you name it, this can do it. That's why it's the Ultra Rule. This old wooden box screams planer, but it's not. Oh, it's an old inside micrometer set. And the head's in there, several rods. This is a central tool. That's an early one. Just a plain old Starrett micrometer. Nice one though, satin finish. Bag of punches. Nice Brown and Sharp 493. Bevel protractor, but usually these came, I think, in a box with an extra blade that I do not see in here, so this is probably a lone wolf. Let's see, this is a test block for a Rockwell hardness tester. This is a nice knife edge with this funky protective sleeve that somebody made for it. This would be a big money item if it had a maker's name on it, but unfortunately it doesn't, so I'm not sure what that's going to end up doing for value. This is brand new old stock Momax 1/2 inch by 1 inch by 8 inch tool blanks for cutting cutters, for grinding your own cutters for your lathe, or shaper for that matter. Here's a nice little Starrett number 160 tool makers vise. These are always populated. These are actually often called vise like I just called it, but the correct terminology for this is a toolmaker's clamp. Sometimes these are sold in pairs, and they often had interchangeable jaws that often go missing. Here's an Orphan number 246 planer gauge, missing the parts. This is a Brown & Sharp number 600 depth gauge. Often these would come in a case with an extra blade, which reminds me, I got this at the flea market a few weeks ago from one of my regulars, and it is a, see, he had a Alt for 10 bucks. It was filled with drill bits and a bunch of other junk, and I asked him if he would take $5 for just the case with just this blade that I found in there. So that's all he had, was the blade in the case, and then somebody had thrown a bunch of junk in here. And he figured the drill bits were worth something to somebody, so I took the drill bits out and got this for $5, knowing that I either already had or was gonna run into one of these. So this is the animal that goes in here. Like so. Somehow. Pretty sure. Oh, okay, hold on. Like this. There we go. So what you do is you actually take this blade out and store this blade here. And then, oh, I didn't have to do that. This blade can store right here. You moron. Now I bet you getting this blade in is a pain in the butt. Just because I took it out. No, it's not right. Never mind. Panic set in for nothing. Voila! Oh, what else we got in here? Got some random parallels. That's a lone wolf and then a pair. Oh, actually, one's shorter than the other. These are not a pair. They're a pretty good match height-wise. Huh. Same guy who made these probably made this. This looks like a 3-4-5 triangle. There's an early combination square head. Here's a nice little. Is this a Starrett? No, this is a Lufkin Rule Company number 66, I think. Yeah. This is kind of a handy little square. Last but not least, we've got a early pair of calipers. Good old Starrett fillet gauge, 279 fillet radius gauge. Almost like a little, well, not really a pin vise, but an arbor looks like somebody made for holding really tiny drill bits. This is an Alina, which is Swiss-made indicator, which back in its day was really well made. It says right there, made in Switzerland, and then it says Compact Geneva. So I think later on these became badged as compact indicators. But it's well known that these are some of the finest indicators as far as dial test indicators go, are the Swiss-made ones. This has a design sort of like, the last word, where you've got a directional lever you have to use. I always like this one because it has an interesting sub-dial. I had one of these a while back that was broken, but I just thought it was such a neat indicator. I sent it out to MR Tool Repair to get it professionally repaired, and he sent it back, no charge, with an explanation that it couldn't be repaired because the parts were no longer available. This one's still operating, but you see that it's got a little sub-dial that makes it kind of neat. At least I thought so. Well, what the heck. This might go into Stevie's indicator collection, I don't know. And there's a Starrett pin vise. When I come across these little orphan pin vices and I can buy them for $1 or $2 a piece, I always try and snag them because I know eventually I'll put together a set, or I'll find a pouch that's missing one or two and I can complete the set. All right, I think we'll call this one a wrap right here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Take care.